Ciao! So today I want to share a little bit about how to hire an Italian teacher. And so I think this is worth sharing because it's frustrating to find a good Italian teacher. And so this is my experience and the criteria that I use. It might be helpful for you, it might not be, but it's something to keep in mind if you are going to invest a substantial amount of energy and resources in your Italian learning project. So to start, the platform Verbling is very good for finding a mother tongue tutor or teacher, and I found that hiring a teacher is somewhat of an art. And so since it is an art, it's going to be very personal what you need for yourself, and it's best to keep in mind what you need as a learner, and this will probably take some self-reflection. You probably need to reflect on yourself as a learner, as in like, what do I need? What kind of conditions do I need to learn optimally? What works for me? What doesn't work for me? So I'll just share a little bit of what works for me, and hopefully it'll bring to mind some ideas to help you as a learner and to reflect a bit on what you're looking for before you do hire an Italian teacher. Okay. So some general criteria would be the time slot and availability of you and the teacher. And it's good if teachers have certifications such as Chettles or Details 2. So Details 2 is more advanced than Details 1. And also it's good if teachers provide materials, unless as a learner you like having more control of your curriculum, or if you're more skilled in actually finding sources for yourself. And another thing is, like, for example, I checked, I think iTalki recently, and I ran a search, and there were, I think this was like last month, there were 1,000 Italian language teachers, and out of the 1,000 there were 300 teachers with certification. So I think it's really important to find a teacher with certification, because with certification, the way the teachers teach, it's much more systematic. And I've had some very bad mother tongue teachers because they weren't certified. They're very good at speaking their language, but they're very bad at teaching their language. So that's why I think certification is very important. The next preference I had was for a mother tongue Italian teacher that did not learn English. Although I did study with one that did learn English, that did speak English, I found that the ones that I worked best with were mother tongue Italian teachers that, let's say, they spoke French but they didn't learn any English, because I found the ones that spoke English, they would translate way too much for me, and I wanted a much more natural experience, and I wanted a much more immersive experience rather than translation. And then also there was a strange dynamic between me and the Italian teachers that had learned English. And later, when I spoke with one of the teachers, he explained to me, because we became friends, and he explained to me how he felt self-conscious when he speaks English, and how he can't pronounce certain words, and how he would be self-conscious when he would try to speak English in front of me and things like that. So I realized, okay, that's why he felt uncomfortable. And so as a learner, I really like feeling comfortable, because learning a foreign language is already quite difficult, but if you add on top of that other stress that the teacher has, it doesn't work really well not for me at least. The next thing was that I liked working with male teachers. I interviewed 4 female teachers. In total, I think I had to interview 7 teachers in order to finally arrive at one teacher that I liked. That was the first round. And then for my advanced Italian learning, I had to interview around 4, and out of the 4 I chose 1. So I liked working with male teachers. I interviewed 4 female teachers, and I found that they overcorrected me, and there was a tendency of rigidity on their part. And I don't like being overcorrected. Maybe it's because I'm too sensitive. And I really don't like rigidity, because I love learning languages in a way that's very natural, when there's a lot of flow, when there's a lot of communication, and there's a lot of dialogue, as opposed to rigid, structured learning. So I found the male teachers were much more natural in general, and that they would gently correct me. They weren't overbearing with their correction at all. Then I liked working with teachers that were happy to teach me, and you could easily tell, I could easily tell, the ones that loved their job and the ones that didn't. So, like, since as an adult I'm paying for these lessons and I want to be happy as I learn, I don't want to be stressed, and I want to be working with someone who is happy to teach me as well, right? So this is important, because if we go back to even like Stephen Krashen's theory about the affective filter, how you need to lower the negative emotions before any meaningful content can enter into your brain, it actually makes sense for language learning. If there's already so much negative emotion because the teacher is stressed and they don't like their job, but then whatever they may say, it's just not going to go into the learner's mind because there's just too much negative emotion, right? And then actually you can't lower those filters, and without lowering those filters, nothing can really enter into the student's mind. So it's really important to work with teachers that are happy to be teaching and happy to be teaching you. And then my last preference was for a teacher that could respect that I was learning Italian as an adult and not as a child. So it might be their prejudices, it might be because I look younger, I don't know. But I found that sometimes the teachers would teach down on me. It might even be the way that Italian students learn in Italy, I have no idea. But I really needed a teacher that could respect that I was learning Italian as an adult and not as a child. And so I don't need to be monitored for doing my assignments, and I don't need to be corrected for every little single mistake, and I don't need to be scolded, right? So that was very important for me as a learner. So those are my criteria for hiring an Italian teacher. Just another note, another observation is that when I learned French, or when I learned even Korean, it was very easy to find a very qualified French or Korean teacher. But for Italian, I found I had to interview so many teachers to find a good Italian teacher. For a French teacher, I just went to Alliance Française here in my city, and the teacher for the advanced class, she was excellent, right? When I went to the Dante Alighieri Society here, I didn't have a good teacher. So I think I met at least 3 teachers there, and I would say that the quality of the teaching was so poor that I resorted to going on to Verbling, and then even after on Verbling, I had to interview at least 4 more to find a decent teacher. So it's a lot of work to find a good Italian teacher. And so this is just, I guess, I hope this information helps you. If you need some more help in how to hire an Italian teacher, or you would like to learn Italian with me, or you would like some advice on how to structure your Italian learning project, then visit my website at www.labellalingua.org.